Paranormal in Pennsylvania may discuss topics such as suicide, murder, and other potentially upsetting things. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Paranormal in Pennsylvania,
where we discuss history and haunts.
Today's story takes us to, by far, the most inferior college in Pennsylvania. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David.
Let's get into it. So, if you can't tell by our shirts, we both went to Pitt. Today we're talking about Penn State. And so, we are supporting the rivalry that exists between the two.
Yeah, even though we have not played Penn State in a while. Long time, actually.
What's a long time to you?
So we played them once, but then otherwise we played, back in...
We played them 3 times.
We played them 3 times?
I think. It was like 20...
But then we stopped again.
17 maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it's just a funny thing. There's this rivalry between Pitt and Penn State.
It used to be more of a rivalry. We used to play them more often.
Yeah. But anyways, that's why we were wearing Pitt shirts. And that's why I said that they were inferior, even though I'm sure it's a perfectly good school. So, this one has been on our list for a while. And we just simply haven't done it because we've done so many universities. But you have been to main campus of Penn State, correct?
No, I have not.
Really? I thought you swam there.
No, we haven't swam at Penn... I don't think we swam at Penn State.
Oh, okay, so we've actually never been.
No.
Neither of us have been. Okay, that makes things interesting then. I thought that you had been. So we're going to go through the history. Okay, so it's interesting because Penn State is actually an agricultural school that was chartered on land that was gifted for the purpose of creating a college. And this happened in 1855 when the Commonwealth chartered Penn State as a college of agricultural sciences, because the goal was to apply scientific principles to farming in a way that hadn't necessarily been done before. And James Irvin had gifted 200 acres to be turned into the university. In the 1880s, President George W. Atherton expanded curriculum to include engineering, sciences in general, and liberal arts. So it was a farming school for about 30 years, but then it did expand further.
An agricultural university? Prestigious.
Well, it was. It sounds like it was among the first of its kind.
Yeah, I mean, that was I meant that sassy, but really, that's a pretty cool start. It's a humble start, too.
Right, and I know a lot of people from my hometown that went to Penn State for ag, because, there were a lot of farms. So they would work on their family farm, go study agriculture at Penn State, and then come back and work the farms because it is a well-known ag school. So, in the 1930s, the Great Depression saw some students unable to travel because they were limited on funds and time. So this led to the creation of the branch campuses. And that's a really cool story to me because, you see these branch campuses, even Pitt has branch campuses, but I at least always wondered why they popped up, but it makes sense that there was a need for it.
In need in terms of people getting educated, or?
Because of the Great Depression, because it created a scenario where there was less money to travel.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right, I'm with you. Understand. And
the campuses from those were the predecessors to today's official 24 Penn State branch campuses, which is quite a lot.
24?
Yeah, I know.
That is impressive.
In 1967, a college of medicine and a teaching hospital were established there with a $50 million gift from Milton Hershey.
Never heard of him.
Right. It's a huge deal.
Who's that guy?
And in 1989, the Pennsylvania College of Technology in Williamsport became an affiliate of the university. So then they had a tech school, and Penn State's online world campus graduated its first students in 2000. So Penn State has a lot to offer, sounds like.
It's fun to, poke fun at each other, but it actually is quite a nice school from what I understand. From what I understand, they also have a pretty good computer science program. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Like I said, it's fun to poke fun, though.
Yeah, I mean, hail to Pitt, but it does sound like Penn State has some decent offerings. And again, a ton of people from my hometown went here because it was basically, growing up in Pennsylvania, people were divided between Pitt or Penn State. And a lot of people went to Penn State. It's a huge school, too.
It has, 42 branch campuses there? It's a pretty big deal.
24.
24.
42 is a lot. I mean, 24 is still a lot, but yeah. So now the paranormal story. The oldest ghost that is said to haunt Penn State is nicknamed Coaly, and actually is not human.
Doggo?
You would love that.
Cat. Even better.
Keep guessing.
Owl?
Can I get mule?
I was going to start going through the farm animals, but that one was going to be a lot later, most likely.
Yeah.
We would have been going a while.
Right. So this mule, he used to haul stone to build the campus in the 1850s. And when he died, he was actually stuffed and put on display because he was such a big part in building the campus.
It's a little weird.
This is where I'm like, Penn State, maybe we rivalry for a reason. That's strange. Not that Pitt doesn't have our own weird stuff, though. And so he was on display, and then, they were rearranging stuff. He was put into the basement following a fire that had happened when they rearranged, and that's when he started haunting it.
Didn't like being out of the spotlight.
He did not. He said, "You better put me in this building that I helped build."
I worked very hard for this prestigious honor of being taxidermied and put on display.
Right. So Coaly started showing up, and he would show up, like, people would hear braying, but people would also say that they saw a mule. And that's really interesting because that's not something you might see, right? Okay, you might see a nun, for example, at Immaculata and think, okay, yeah, that could be there. But seeing a mule walking through a college building, that's going to give you pause.
Yeah, but also, like, part of me can't help but wonder, is this like a prank that some college students do where they, get two guys in a mule outfit and go running through the school real quick?
And what about the braying sounds? They're just like playing, they just like have recorders.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot to maintain through years.
Commit to the bit. Oh, I mean, yeah, through the years, but...
Yeah, unless it's just like a secret society at Penn State that maintains this joke. Much more likely to be paranormal, especially given that it happened once they moved the body. Since then, he has been moved to the agricultural building, and he now haunts that building as well, because he's just perpetually angry, it sounds.
Like, really didn't take the going in the basement well.
Yeah, did not take that well. Or he could have been upset about the fire, too.
Sure, like, scared, you think?
Or just, like, angry because he helped build the buildings. Not angry at anyone in general, but just frustrated with the fire.
I was about to say, like, do you know what caused the fire?
No, but I think just in general. Another haunted location on campus is the Schwab Auditorium, and, it's a common theme in the colleges that we've covered for the auditorium to be haunted.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why. Dormitories, totally get. Auditoriums?
So I was talking to my uncle about this weekend, and because he used to work in theater, and he was saying he feels that theaters are often haunted because there's so much life energy put into them, because people are, bearing themselves on the stage to do these stories, creating life energy through that. You have the audience, tens of thousands of people in these audiences in the seats over time, reacting and giving life energy. So he was saying he feels like it's just such a place of life energy that's why hauntings typically occur there. And I think that could make sense. There's high emotionality associated.
Fancy way of saying blood, sweat, and tears.
Exactly. Visitors report seeing a ghost looking down from the balcony level. And while seeing him is rare, people do see objects moving on their own, which they believe is caused by this ghost. So it could be either haunting. You could either physically see the ghost himself, or just objects move around in the auditorium. You might be thinking, who is this? Great question, David. It's Charles Schwab, the namesake of the auditorium. At least that's who people believe it is.
Any, actual relation? Well, probably to the actual Schwab family.
Yeah, he donated the money for the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I see what you're saying. Like Schwab, the famous name.
Yes.
He's also sometimes seen in a seat in the middle of the theater, or if people are seated and there's empty seats next to them, they'll feel like, the swing seats, like someone is sitting next to them. And that happened at the Academy of Music in Philadelphia when we covered it as well. I feel like that's kind of a common auditorium theater haunting.
Interesting. So knowing like very little, and by very little I mean basically nothing about this man other than his name, was he like a big patron of like the arts in this regard?
I didn't see anything about that. So I don't know if he just liked Penn State or if he was into the arts or what. I don't know why he donated the money to the auditorium.
Gotcha. Because like when I hear, he's in the middle of the seats, like is he just like a huge patron that loves like, to watch, to see people perform, even practice, I guess?
You would think, given that he is still there in his afterlife, I would think so. That would make sense to me. That's not all, because there's another ghost in the auditorium. And he is said to appear with long hair on the stage. And employees have actually seen this man and thought that he's a worker. However, when they approach him, he continues to walk off the stage and disappear into the wall. In the 1970s, the same ghost may have appeared as a gray, misty figure. However, some people that saw this gray, misty spirit in the 70s say that it was actually an old man that was wearing a Revolutionary War uniform. So, not quite the same person as this long hair ghost. They just both appear on stage, I think. But what's interesting is that Revolutionary War ghost that appeared in the 70s appeared on stage and in the basement, but hasn't really been seen since. So I wonder what stirred it up.
Who knows? I mean, maybe somebody like in the comments from Penn State could actually let us know.
Yeah.
Like what might have caused this, because obviously you and I don't have the intimate knowledge somebody from Penn State actually would have.
Yeah, that's true. And I didn't see anything about it, but it's interesting to me that he was there in the 70s and then gone.
I wonder if they did like some major overhauls to the auditorium.
Yeah, like renovations, because that can always stir stuff up. That's a good idea. Some people think that they're the same ghost, just at different time points, but I don't think so.
Yeah, the long hair, and then it's a real kind of like shake up to go from Revolutionary War figure to man with long hair. Or are you saying that it was the misty spirit?
No, they're saying it's all the same. So Misty Gray Spirit is Revolutionary War, is man with long hair. I agree. I think it's a big jump.
Yeah, we've talked about like shadow figures in the past, and then like full apparitions, but not ever having like a full apparition of a person in two different forms.
Mm-hmm. I think they're different people.
I think they have to be different.
There's another ghost in the auditorium too, just to throw it into the mix. And this is George Atherton, and he was the 7th president of the university. His grave is actually just outside the auditorium, which is the reason that many people think that he haunts it.
Okay.
Yeah,
like that's not a hard sell.
Yeah, and he's just seen walking through the auditorium. But George is not alone, because his wife is also said to haunt the campus. Interestingly, Frances Atherton, some say, can be seen looking out of the window of Old Botany, which is the Old Botany building, I guess. And it seems like she's keeping an eye on the grave of her husband. Apparently from Old Botany, you can see the auditorium. So it's almost like a widow's walk or whatever, where they used to like wait for their husbands to come home, or so she's like overlooking it. And some claim that her spirit may harass those that stay too late in the building. Visitors have claimed to see carpets roll up on their own and hear the sounds of shattering glass with seemingly no explanation. And I think this is the first time I've ever heard of a ghost rolling up a carpet.
Yeah, so I need more information on that. Are we talking when a carpet corner just like kind of rolls up, or are we talking like a carpet just starts rolling backwards? But even then, I could still see like with a carpet kind of rolling it back on itself a little bit, that being a thing too, if the carpet has been rolled up for so long, Yeah,
but think about like universities. That doesn't happen at universities. They're not putting down new carpets.
Yeah, but like the corners certainly, like from years of use and abuse.
Yeah, but it's like it's significant rolling up. It's not just the corner turning up.
Oh, you didn't say if it was significant or not.
Yeah, so I think it must be paranormal, but it is interesting. And the shattering glass as well. It's almost as if she wants to like scare people out.
Yeah, you stay past your welcome. Leave.
Yeah, that's fair. So we'll end with the last ghost, which is actually a bit of a dark story. And this is about a girl named Betsy who was unfortunately murdered on Penn State's campus. And she was murdered November 28th, 1969 in the library. Although the library was busy, no one saw what happened, and no one was ever convicted. She's sometimes seen in the staircase, and her screams can also be heard in the library, which is definitely going to stick out in the library. And she's seen as a dark-haired woman that suddenly appears and startles visitors as if she wants to make herself known. And I think this all makes a ton of sense. You know, she was somehow murdered in a busy library. Her killer was never convicted. So she's showing up like, hey, see me. And she has unsolved business.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's definitely the saddest ghost. Like, the rest of them, I'm like, oh, cute. This one is sad.
Vengeful.
Well, yeah, like, I want justice for Betsy.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what else you could do, because in the 60s, I'm sure there wasn't a ton of evidence that they could go off of. It's not like today. Like, imagine if something happened in a library today. There'd be cameras, there'd be all this stuff.
Like a murder? Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Yeah, so
the best you could do is try to get her to name her murderer, but that's, implying that she knew who it was.
Right, which she might have. Who knows? So those are all of the ghosts of Penn State. What do you think? Would you visit this place of paranormal phenomena?
Maybe. Probably.
Are you just saying that because of Pitt?
Hail to Pitt.
Yeah, I mean, hail to Pitt, but I would absolutely go. I think there's a lot to be investigated here. I think it's always really cool when you have these prominent figures from the university involved. Like, we have the people in the auditorium, like the Schwab guy who donated. But then we also have this unsolved mystery in the library. I think there's a lot of potential here. And the way I feel personally with universities is, although there's haunted buildings and there's like a few significant ghosts that always come up, there's bound to be so much more, especially at a university like Penn State. Think of the amount of people that go through there.
Oh, yeah.
And especially Penn State, the emotional ties. Like, people are diehard Penn State. What did they say? Like, bleed white and blue?
I don't know. I don't make it my business to know what their sayings are.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just like, okay, bleed blue and gold. For us. It's like, their colors are white and blue. Maybe they don't say that. Someone from Penn State's going to comment and be like, what the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know their sayings or anything.
Yeah. So you would visit?
I would. I'd visit because there's also, like, outside of Penn State, there's also a bunch of beautiful nature around the campus. So I've been told that there are a bunch of, like, really nice hiking locations and such too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, aside from the campus itself, there's the lure of, like, being able to do some outdoor nature stuff is there.
Yeah, and there's an interesting amount of haunted locations in the area surrounding Penn State, actually. So that would be something really cool to do. I think anytime that you have a place with this much history, there's bound to be hauntings, and I would love to go investigate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of Paranormal in Pennsylvania. Tune in next Thursday to see what history and hauntings we discuss next, and hail to Pitt, my friends.